Good morning, everyone. This is Raghu, Assistant Professor of Biotechnology from SR and BGNR Government College, Khammam. So today's topic is sterilization methods. Before going into the definition of process of sterilization, we have to know the differences between the process of sterilization and disinfection. So in this slide you can clearly see the differences between sterilization process and disinfection. So the first one is, it will reflect the definition. So sterilization is a mechanism where it will destroy all microorganisms including their spores. That means you will make the material free from microbes, 100% free from microbes. That is the process of sterilization. Whereas disinfection is a process cleaning something using a chemical substance that will superficially remove the disease causing bacteria, using a chemical compound for cleaning a substance that will kill or remove the bacteria which will cause a disease. That is the process of disinfection. In sterilization, we use robust methods and high temperatures and chemicals for the process of sterilization. Whereas in disinfection, these methods are moderate. So robust methods are not used. It is just swiping or cleaning the area. So in the process of sterilization, we use heat, we use steam, we use filtration methods, we use radiation methods, we use chemicals. So there will be a use of chemicals, heat, temperature, filtration, irradiation, all these methods to make the substances free of microbes. Whereas in the process of disinfection, you especially use chemicals like alcohols, chlorine, bleaching agents, heavy metals, etc. So that is the major differences between sterilization and disinfection. So some other things include, so sterilization is a process, as I mentioned, it will make the substances 100% free from microbes, whereas the cleanliness in disinfection, it's okay, it will prevent from disease causing organisms. Sterilization even removes the spores which are resistant structures. Such things are not happens in disinfection because it destroys only the living organisms. Spores are not cleared by the disinfection process. Sterilization can be used for food materials also, as well as medical and surgical instruments, whereas disinfection mostly associated with the surface substances, cleaning of air and surfaces. So these are the differences between sterilization and disinfection. So today we will clearly see the various robust methods that are involved in the process of sterilization. So if you see, this is the process of classification of sterilization. So you can clearly see the process of classification of sterilization. So it is of two methods, physical and chemical methods. So these are the two methods which are shown in the diagram. The physical methods include heat, radiation, filtration methods. Heat, radiation and filtration method. And chemical methods include use of gaseous or liquid substances for the process of sterilization. If you see the physical methods, especially heat, this heat is of two different types, dry heat method and moist heat method. In dry heat method, incineration and dry oven will come under dry heat method. That means you use only heat to kill or remove the microorganisms. So direct heat, it may be sunlight, it may be flaming or incineration, we will see in the upcoming slides. In moist heat, you use temperature plus moisture. Temperature plus moisture together are used for the process of sterilization. So sometimes pressure is also used. Best example is autoclave. So pressure, moisture and temperature together will come under moist heat test sterilization. While coming to radiation already known, there are two types of radiations, ionizing radiations and non-ionizing radiations. Ionizing radiations will liberate alpha, beta and gamma rays, which have high penetration power, whereas non-ionizing radiations, there will be use of ultraviolet rays. So that is sterilization by radiation method. Infiltration is another physical method where solutions or solvents or water or medium, all liquid components which have filterable bacteria or microorganisms are sterilized with the help of filtration. So these methods include asbestos, membrane filters, sintered glasses. So that we will discuss in the upcoming slides. So while coming to the chemical methods of sterilization, so as I mentioned, chemical methods, two types, use of gaseous substances or use of liquid substances for the process of sterilization. So the gaseous substances include formaldehyde, ethylene oxide, etc. Whereas the liquid chemicals that are included are alcohol, halogens, phenols or aldehydes. So these are the two arms of sterilization methods, physical and chemical methods. So first one is physical method, and that is dry heat. So as I mentioned, by dry heat means direct use of sunlight or heat for the removal of microorganisms. So first one is incineration. So incineration is a process where you will burn out the substance completely, turning the substance into ash is called as incineration. So this type of sterilization method is used for disposable materials, which is especially used in pathological or clinical laboratories. So these articles are completely burned into ashes, and whatever may the microorganisms present on them are completely burned into ashes. So that is the process of incineration. So next one is red heat. So this type of sterilization is used especially for bacteriological loops or vials that are used for bacterial or fungal multiplication. So that means culturing. So during culturing of these microorganisms, we use these bacteriological loops or wires. So these will be sterilized with the help of Bunsen burner. So they will be red heated in the Bunsen burner. Since they are made up of tungsten or other metals, they are not destroyed. Only the microorganisms on them are destroyed due to red heat flaming. So next one is flaming. So just passing a substance over the Bunsen burner, especially the mouth of test tubes or mouth of conical flask, cover slips, all these will be just subjected to flaming to Bunsen burner. So that will remove the microorganisms present on them. So these are not flamed completely, just a heat is shown with the help of Bunsen burner. So next one is hot air oven. Hot air oven. So this is how hot air oven looks in a laboratory. So the hot air oven kills the organisms by oxidation. Heat killing the organisms by oxidation is the principle involved in the hot air oven, where a temperature ranging from 50 degrees centigrade to 300 degrees centigrade can be obtained using this dry hot air oven. Generally, the ideal temperature that is used for sterilization of glassware, especially glassware and other materials used in laminar flow chamber, can be sterilized using this hot air oven. The ideal temperature is 160 degrees centigrade and 1 hour is desirable for killing of microorganisms and also spores present on the glassware. So it will be having a thermostat that will regulate the temperature needed and also time needed for the process of sterilization. The glassware that is sterilized in this hot air oven should not be removed immediately after sterilization, because there is a possibility of breakage of glassware. So after the process of cooling process only, we have to remove the glassware from the hot air oven. So this is the dry heat method of sterilization of microbes using incineration, flaming, and also red heat, and also by hot air oven. So that is dry heat. So next one is sterilization by moist heat. So sterilization by moist heat include three methods. One is sterilization below boiling temperature. So that is below 100 degrees centigrade. It is also called as sub-boiling sterilization. So best example is pasteurization. So the next one is boiling at sterilization at boiling temperature, that is at 100 degrees centigrade. So best example is tintalization or intermittent sterilization. The third one is sterilization using steam and pressure. Best example is autoclave. So the moist heat includes sterilization at below boiling temperature, that is less than 100 degrees, that is pasteurization. At boiling temperature at 100 degrees centigrade, that is tintalization. And above the boiling temperature, more than 100 degrees centigrade, using pressure and steam. Best example is autoclave. So pasteurization is especially used for sterilization of food products like milk, beer, etc. So generally there are two methods which are used in pasteurization. One is Holder method, where a low temperature is used like 63 degrees centigrade, and a time period of 30 minutes are used for the removal of microorganisms. This is called as Holder method. And a flash method is high temperature for less period of time, that is 72 degrees centigrade for 15 to 20 degrees centigrade seconds. So that is flash method. So flash method means high temperature, low time. Holder method means low temperatures, long time. So by this pasteurization, non-sporing pathogens like Mycobacterium, Brucella, Salmonella can be destroyed. But Holder method, some dangerous bacteria like Coxella burnetii may survive. That will be removed by flash method. So these are the some of the temperatures and time in seconds which are used in Holder method and high temperature short term pasteurization. So either you can use high temperature, that means Holder method 63 degrees centigrade for 30 minutes, and these are the different temperatures and times used in high temperature short term pasteurization. 72 degrees centigrade, 89 degrees centigrade 1 second, 90 degrees centigrade 0.5 seconds, and even 100 degrees point not 1 seconds. But this is not used for the process of food products, because food products will be degenerated, the proteins present in the food products will be destroyed if more than 72 degrees centigrade is applied for even for less time. So these high temperature short term processes are used for pasteurization of beer, wine, and some other liquid food products, etc. So that is pasteurization. So next one is tyndallization. Robert Tyndall has given this mechanism. It is also called as intermittent sterilization. It is steaming the substances or food items to 100 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes for 3 consecutive days. That means this is especially used for sterilization of medium, bacteriological fungal mediums, and also some serum, sugar containing medium, gelatin and egg containing medium, etc. So here once you heat the substance to 100 degrees centigrade, most of the microorganisms will be killed. After that you will incubate that particular substance for 24 hours, and again you will heat the next day to 100 degrees centigrade. Like this you will continue the process for 3 days. During incubation, if at all the spores are left in the medium, they will be germinated. The next day they will be killed. So this process allows the spores to germinate, and after germination it will kill the germinated spores. So this by this process we can completely remove the microorganisms as well as the spores that cause the microorganisms. So that is sterilization at boiling temperature for 3 consecutive days. So the next one is autoclave, sterilization by steam and pressure. So you can clearly see the how autoclave is structured. So there will be outer and inner chambers which are separated by a rubber jacket. Excuse me. And the steam is flown into the chamber, and using the steam you can sterilize the glassware and also the culture medium, the serum, animal cell culture medium, bacteriological cell culture medium, fungal cell culture medium, all the mediums, and also large glassware can be sterilized using autoclave. So this is the structure of autoclave, and the principle involved in the autoclave is use of high temperatures more than boiling temperatures, that is 121 degrees centigrade, and also the pressure 15 psi pressure. So 121 degrees centigrade, 15 psi pressure for 15 to 20 minutes, and also the time depends upon the size of the load and contents in the autoclave. So this is how you sterilize using temperature and pressure by using autoclave. So pasteurization at subboiling temperature, tyndallization at boiling temperature, and autoclaving above boiling temperature. So this is moist heat sterilization. So the next process is sterilization by radiation. So radiations are of two types, as I already mentioned: non-ionizing radiations and ionizing radiations. Non-ionizing will include UV rays, IR. Ionizing will be X-rays, gamma rays, etc. So the non-ionizing radiations like UV rays, they will damage the nitrogen bases present in the DNA. Especially they will cause thymine dimers, which we have seen in the DNA repair mechanisms or DNA damage. So they will cause the thymine dimer formation and they will cause the errors in replication. Whereas the ionizing radiations, they have a large penetration power. They will cause chromosomal aberrations. So that means completely the DNA will be damaged. So that is the role of radiations. So gamma rays, X-rays, UV rays, and the type of materials used for the sterilization is using gamma rays. Medical equipment like syringes, needles are used for sterilization. Using X-rays, sterilization of large medical equipments like scissors, blades, all these using X-rays. UV rays, especially transparent objects which are made up of glass, are used for the sterilization. So this is the method of sterilization using radiation, which will damage DNA as well as the chromosomes, nucleic acid material, and the different types of materials used for process of radiation sterilization. So the next method is filtration. So filtration is a process especially used for sterilization of liquid components which have filterable microorganisms. So you use earthenware like Camberland filters, Dalton filters, diatomaceous earth used in normal water filters, asbestos filters, Carlson, Stearmat, sintered glass filters, and also membrane filters like cellulose nitrose, nitrocellulose acetate, polycarbonate, polyester filters, etc. So all these are used for the filtration of liquid solutions, and sometimes air is also filtered. So there, since microorganisms are ubiquitous in nature, these are present in air also. So air is also filtered, especially in laminar flow chamber using high efficiency particulate air filters, which are called as HEPA filters. These filters are present in laminar flow chamber and used for the filtration of air. And the pore size for the filtration process of these membranes will be 0.015 to 12 micrometers. So the microorganisms which will be less than this pore size will not be filtered using this technique. That can be either autoclaved or hot air is used for filtration for sterilization process. So that is sterilization using filtration process using different filters. So the last one is sterilization using chemical methods. As I mentioned, chemicals are liquid chemicals as well as gaseous chemicals. Liquid chemicals includes alcohols, ethyl alcohol, isopropanol, trichlorobutanol. So ethyl alcohol is especially used in sanitizers. Aldehydes like formaldehyde, glutaraldehyde is also used in sanitizers. And halogens like dyes, halogens like chlorofluorocarbons, phenols, and dyes are also used for the process of sterilization. And metals which will inhibit the protein synthesis or proteins are also used in the form of salts, metallic salts. And the gaseous chemicals that are used are ethylene oxide, formaldehyde, beta propionylactone. So all these chemical which are called as gaseous chemicals are used for sterilization. So what is the mechanism of process of sterilization by this ethylene oxide or BPL, beta propanol lactone or ethylene oxide is they will modify the nitrogen bases in the DNA. Since the nitrogen bases amino group and hydroxyl groups, these amino and hydroxyl groups are modified by these gaseous substances. So these gaseous substances will modify the nitrogen bases that are present in the DNA, causing damage to the DNA. So that is gaseous method, killing of microorganisms and the process of sterilization. And what does liquid chemicals which are mentioned in the previous slide does is they cause protein coagulation. So proteins are coagulated by liquid chemicals, and also they disrupt the cell membranes. So plasma membrane is disrupted, and also they will bind to free sulfhydryl groups. So if at all cysteine is present in the protein, it will contain free sulfhydryl groups, and these chemicals will go and bind, and it will prevent the action of these proteins, so, and also prevent the action of the enzymes. And substrate competition, and also these chemical substances will bind to the active site of enzyme instead of substrate, and it will prevent the enzymatic activity. So these are the 4 different methods by which the chemical compounds will destroy the microorganisms and sterilize the substances from the microorganisms. So that is the different process of or different methods of sterilization. Thank you for patiently listening about the topic.